So, good day, I guess, ladies and gentlemen. So, today I'm going to talk about the course profile for the Introduction to Business English. So, at this point, I would think that you already have received this file and perhaps read it. Maybe not all of it, but at least you try to read it. I hope so, at least. We're going to talk about the course profile for the Introduction to Business English, which is done on the semester in September 2020, 2021. That's the name of the semester. So let's go to the description. Let's jump right ahead. This course is designed to give students a particularly good grounding, particularly in writing and spoken style for business communication. Now, I have to emphasize here that uh, if we did this class offline, like when this pandemic is not happening, uh, usually the class will involve some kind of meetings, like simulations. Particularly important are the business meeting simulation. So you pretend like you have a business meeting and the what you call that, the job interview, which is which requires you to to do it in front of the class, but obviously we cannot do it. So I would say that this course is focusing more on the writing part of it. So you will be writing what you call it, correspondence, namely business letters, business emails, memos, and such. And for the meeting and job interviews, we will have to, I don't know how to say it correctly, uh, like to reduce the importance of it. Like we will still discuss about it, but it is quite hard given the limitations put on us by the online interactions that we can have. Is that it is quite a bit hard if I tell you guys to do simulation, for example, on video or through Zoom or Google Meet or stuff like that. It's going to be hard on the students, is all I'm saying, you know. So we will downplay the importance of a business meeting and job interview, and we will do it in another form, which are less internet, what you call intensive. So these are the program learning outcomes, or PLO. These are basically the same for all classes. And this is the course learning outcomes, CLO. Excuse me, I'm a bit coughing a bit, so uh, yeah, that might be hampering. So these are the readings. I will use the first four mostly because I have the ebooks for it. The fifth one, I'm going to be very honest that I haven't found the ebooks for it. This has been used in previous classes and was proven to be useful. I will try to get it if I can. As I said, or perhaps not said, these are all ebooks that I will give to you, so you don't need to buy or get it by yourself. Now let's look at the meetings here. Introduction, we are doing it right now. And notice here that I wrote the weekly assignments and activities. So that will happen mostly in almost all of the meetings. I will tell you to do something and you will have to do it if you want to get good grades. If you don't want to have a good grade, you're free not to do it. I will give you an E and we will all be happy. Less corrections for me. That is great. That is always great. So, yeah, that's a joke. If you don't get it, good. Now, the meeting one is the introduction to the course, and that's the description. We're talking about the course profile, which is what we're doing now. And then I'm going to go over the topics that we will cover in this class. The first topic will be business letters and emails. I give 4 meetings for this, yes, and it's mostly on the written English and business correspondence. The second and the third meeting, we want to focus on what kind of language is the business English. Obviously, it is different from what you call that, the flowery words of the literature, and it's not exactly the same with academic English, because academic English is mainly used in schools. Obviously, business English obviously is used in business. So we will focus on that, the language first, and the second and third meeting. The fourth and the fifth, we want to try to practice writing those business emails and letters, and I will tell you to write those things, and we will revise them as necessary. And then I will tell you to summarize. So let us give you a basic idea of how this class is going to be done. The first is that I'm going to give you something to read. For example, in the next meeting, I give you material A, and I will usually say that in WhatsApp, and then you will read it before the next meeting. So in the first meeting, I give you material A. In the second meeting, I will give you a short quiz or a short assignment that you will have to submit in the same day regarding the materials that you have read before. So I give you a material to read, you read it, and then the next meeting I will give you some sort of test for it or as an assignment that has to be submitted on the same day. And then I will give you some explanations for it. That's the third step. First step, I give you the material. Second step, you do the assignment or a test for it. Third step is that I'm going to give you explanations for it. And then the fourth step is for you to make a note on it, which is here I wrote summarizing. Now, why do you have to do the summarizing, taking notes? Because at the end of the semester, I will want you to submit the whole summary of all the materials in the class for the final assignment. So, yeah, basically that is that. I will give you some more insight on that, but for now, it's enough for you just to know about it. And then let's go on to the next topic of the class, which is memos. Yeah, memos. You don't think too much of it until you have to write one of it, and you don't know what to write. So, yeah. I'm going to just give like 2 meetings for memos. Also, this time is used to revise your business letters and emails. And in the 8th and the 10th meeting, we're going to talk about business articles and essays. Now, so other than business correspondence, the focus of Introduction to Business English, the focus of this class is for you to gain some information and knowledge about business world itself, especially things that interest you. We're going to talk about this genre of nonfiction we call business writing. Imagine business magazines, something like that. We're not going to go so much as to the business textbooks, like some business college books, stuff like that, but we will go over the more interesting part of the business publication, perhaps. Maybe you have this thought that you want to, after you graduate from the English department, you want to be a tourist guide, or you want to open a business, you want to open what you call that, this courses for children, for example. Let's find some materials on that and let's talk about it. Now, this is also important. This means that you're going to find your own articles and essays, and that you are going to present them, which brings us to the second final assignment, which is for you to present an article. You in a group, like 2 or 3 students, will present an article or two, which still have the same topic, about your future job prospects or the areas of business that interest you. So, let's move on to the next topic. Going to move on very fast here. Yeah, we'll talk about meetings and then presentations, slides. Meetings, setting the agenda, controlling conversation, agreeing, disagreeing is mostly the expressions that you can use. I don't know if I want you to create a scenario. I don't know if we can do that, meaning if you can make a scenario of it, so what? You know, we don't have the chance to practice this live on the class, so that is a big limitation. However, if you want to do this, if you think this part is very important, we can always make time and give a chance to do it. We will talk about it as we saw fit. Now, presentation slides, we will talk about it, and then you will practice doing it, and then you will practice it in this part. Sorry, in this part, 13th meeting, the presentation. So you will finalize after in the previous meeting I tell you to find an article or two, like I said. You'll make a presentation of it, record it in a video, so you will have to present a slide and describe it, much like what I'm doing right now. So it doesn't have to be a very sophisticated video, just you talking. And then you will, and then your friends will react to it. I mean, perhaps giving comments, asking questions and stuff, and you will have to answer them. So that is how we do the presentation. So we will start doing the presentation at the 13th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. Yes. There will be like a lot of groups, I understand that, but since these are all what you call online forums, we can all interact at the same time. It is not the same with offline classes where you have to take turns, in class to go in front of the class and present something. You can just post your videos on the forums and we will react to it. Now here's the thing. We were supposed to do that on Sipajar, and Sipajar has been very unreliable these days. We will have to make a decision whether we want to do this on Sipajar or not, because at the present condition, it is very hard to do so on Sipajar. That's also the reason why I haven't posted any materials there, because if I post them there and you cannot access it, it's the same. It is useless. So take note of that. And then let's move on to the final topic after the meeting. We will discuss about job interviews. For job interviews and also for meetings, uh, you'll have to, I will give you some materials on it, but I want you to expand on it to practice finding materials for yourself, and we will discuss about it, basically like that. And then the last meeting will be the review and submitting the final assignments, a video presentation. Now this is the final form of the video presentation. You may want to, for example, you already posted and someone said, some smart Alex tells you that your video presentation sucks. Yeah, you still got some chance to improve it. You can still revise the video presentation, but you can only submit the final version of it in the last meeting. Now, I understand that my explanations for the final assignments here are very brief, which is meant to be so because I will give you more information, more detailed information as time goes by. Uh, it is not to be done now. That is all I'm saying. We're just making sure that we cover all the important points on the course profile first. Also, let's focus on that for a bit now. The assessment details are the final assignment 1, giving effective presentation. As I said before, you choose an article or two, and then you talk about it for 10 to 15 minutes on a video. You post that video in a forum. In an online forum, your friends asks questions about it, giving you comments, and then you reply. Basically like that. The next final assignment is the summary. Now I want you to be not to procrastinate, meaning that you did the summary only in the only in last 2 weeks of class. I don't want to do that. I don't want you to do that. So I want you to have this habit of doing things mm, diligently. So I will. So as I said before, the what you call it, the process of this class is me giving you material, you read it, and then we have a very short quiz or assignment. We call that the weekly assignment, the one over here, weekly assignment or quiz. That is this the use of this quiz or assignment is to make sure that you already read and you already know the basics of the materials that I gave you. So after that, my expectation is for you to write notes on it when I explain it. I give you the material, you read it, we do the quiz or the assignment for it, and then I will give you some explanations for it, and I expect you to write some notes about it. This is what's going to contribute to the final assignment to that. And for this matter, I will do an inspection of your notes on this week's, what is referred to checkpoints. So on the week 6, 8, and 13, after each topic is done, for example, after the business letters and emails topic is done, I want to look at your notes, just to look at them. I will not give any, what you call it, grades at that point, but I will give some input. For example, you haven't written anything. No, that's going to go in my record. And I will remind you of it during this time, so that you do not procrastinate and you have some notes to go with. Now, about this summary, the hope is that first you do not procrastinate. You do everything on the last hour, on the last day, like the last 2 days of this semester, and you start writing the summary. That is not going to happen. We don't want to do that. We want to develop the habit of actually doing things before the deadline, because that is a very important skill to have if you want to succeed in university learning, whether you want to finish this undergraduate or you want to continue on a master's or doctorate, etc. You need to have this habit. So I want you to develop that. And then the assignments. Besides the weekly assignment or quiz, I may give you an assignment, for example, writing business correspondence, which includes emails, memos, and letters. And that is all for the graded assignments. So you will notice that I do not give a final uh, examination or midterm examination. Reason being that I haven't found an ideal way to do that. Basically, in an offline test, it's easy to check whether people are not opening their books and such. But in an online class, I don't think that will happen that easy. And since some of us do not have a good internet connection, it is questionable if we can do it online, synchronous. That's the word. I give you a test at 8 o'clock. You have to finish at 8:30. My experience last semester is that a lot of people, they cannot submit on time because their internet connections go bad, and that is just not going to happen. So I am substituting that with this two final assignment. Consider the first final assignment as a midterm, the presentation as a midterm, the summary as the final assignment, as the substitute for the final exam. I think that works. And the attendance. So how to attend the class? You do the roll call. I think I have already detailed it here. I don't think there's any problem here. Remember to do this on time. If it is not on time, I may give you a reduction on your overall performance. If you keep coming, quote unquote, doing the roll call late, it means that you do not know what to do in that meeting, and that will hurt your discipline. I will not think of you if you keep getting late. For example, we start at 7 o'clock, and then you 7 o'clock until 8:45 or 8:40, sorry, and then you do the roll call at 10 o'clock or at 11 or at 12. I will think that you have problems with discipline, and therefore I cannot give you a very good grade on this. And also submit the weekly assignments. For you to pass this class, I want you to submit all of the assignments. I don't care if it is late. If it is late, I will give you a bad grade, of course. You cannot, if you're late, you cannot get better than C. I will tell you right now. So try to submit them on time. These should not be very hard. I do not design the weekly assignments to be very hard. If it is a quiz, it should be like 10 multiple choice quiz. It is not for you to write an essay about a page or two. No, this is just something very, very simple, just for me to check whether you have read the materials or not before the next meeting. So these should not be very hard, and I expect them to be complete. So if I give you, for example, 10 weekly assignments, I expect 10 weekly assignments to all be submitted to me. If it is late, you might get bad grade. But if it is not complete, like you only submit 9 out of 10, I cannot pass you in this class. That means I will give you a D. Yes, I want us all to learn discipline. And that is my point in this. If you have some assignments missing, I will let you know for you to do something about it. Then you contact me. Basically like that. The peer assignment is for the group final assignment, which is the presentation. You will make groups of 2 or 3 people, and I will ask each of you to give a assessment, your own assessment on your work performance. Now, of course, you can always be all friendship and butterflies and rainbows and write that fiction, quote unquote, even if you have one group member that is not working at all. Now, the thing about this is that I can usually see if one person is not working well. It will reflect on the presentation. The first person who talks about it can talk it really good. The presentation is it's on video, it's recorded, right? The second person, let's say this is a three-person group. A can give a very good presentation. B can give a good presentation, and we have C who doesn't seem to know what he's talking about. Yeah, it happens, your result will reflect your performance. So if I give you a pre-assignment and said, oh, everyone is working well, everyone is working diligently, everyone is blah blah blah, you give me that sort of fiction, well, okay, it means that you cannot assess yourself well, and it will reflect on your final grade. Because I have questions, if you send a presentation and there is this one person who's presenting and he doesn't really know what he was talking about, and you say everything is okay, it means something is wrong with all of you. So I will give all of you probably not a very good grade. However, if you're honest and say that yes, C has difficulties in 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 doing this assignment, A can do well, B can do well, C is questionable, and then A said, yes, we do have problem with our group work. C is not doing his part, or C is just that person cannot understand. What should you do? Well, if you have not done this, I mean, you haven't submitted the presentations yet, you tell me and we can work something out. I'm not this vindictive, vengeful person, evil person that will just give everyone a C or a D just because I like it. No, but we can always work together. And that way I know that C has difficulties and then I can accommodate for that. Maybe I can see that C already tries hard to do this, but that person just cannot do it well. Maybe I'll let C go with a good grade. It doesn't hurt. I'm getting the same salary if this person C got a 100% or got a 25% grade. It doesn't hurt my pay. So I don't see any reason why I shouldn't give everyone an A actually. But if you try to pass some lies under the questionable principle of friendship that you got, well, okay, it means that I cannot work with you, and you choose to be dishonest. Now just give everybody a bad grade because people are trying to mess with me. I will mess with you, You're basically like that. I hope it does not come to that. So one thing that I want to focus uh, here is plagiarism, copy and paste. We have a huge spike of students plagiarizing last semester when we started the online classes. I counted almost 10 of my students do this kind of stuff. Plagiarism, copy and paste. I give you an assignment, you just search it on Google, find some guide, and you copy and paste from it. Yeah, that will not work. I will give you an E or a 0 for it. If you do it on the final assignments, I will give you a D on your final grade, meaning you do not pass this class and you have to retake it next year. Have I done that? Yes, unfortunately. Uh, I remember the guy who did that. He did it during the final test. Like, yeah, he copy and paste from an internet site. The thing is that I might sound a bit stupid and I might look stupid, but I'm not really that stupid. If you copy and paste from the first the internet, yeah, I can probably detect that. Uh, the other guys who did it, they did it on an assignment, so I'll just give them a C, meaning they still pass, but it will ruin their grade point average, their GPA, IPK. I don't care. I mean, you chose to do it. You're an adult. And there are consequences of your actions in life. And one of the consequences is for you to ruin your grade point average because you decided to copy paste. Do not do this. If you have problems, you cannot do this exercise. Ask your friends. If your friends also having difficulties, ask me, and then I might change the assignment, or I might help you. Or if that doesn't work, you still get a bad grade, you can still ask me, sir, I'm having a bad grade, I'm having a bad time in my life, the only girl that I love has say that she doesn't love me and I want the world to burn. That happens. So, yeah, we can accommodate that. Yeah, yeah. Before you did your suicide, I'll give you an additional assignment for you to improve your grade. Just be honest. Just believe in yourself and be honest, and we can work something out. If you copy and paste, I will give you a C or a D or a 0. Basically, that's a hole you don't want to fall into. And I think that's all for the explanation. It's been 30 minutes and it's been pretty boring, so I'm sorry for that. If you have any further questions, please send those questions over on your WhatsApp group and ask them there, and I will answer as best as I can. So, hope we have a good semester this time, and I will see you again next time. Thank you very much.